how I made six figures at 18 years old. And you know what? And how you can do it too. Okay. So let's jump in with why you should listen to me. So I made multi six figures online at 18 years old. I have a YouTube channel with over 2 million subscribers. I've spent 10,000 plus hours studying money and psychology, which makes me an expert. And I've been coached directly by some of the biggest entrepreneurs on the internet, including Nero Knowledge, William Brown, and Charlie Morgan. So here's the bad news. You're not going to get any specific business strategies on how to make more money from me. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to trade a stock or how to take a sales call or anything like that. But here's the good news is that what I'm about to show you can be applied to whatever line of business you're in. It doesn't matter whether you are trading stocks, whether you are a coach, whether you're in sales, insurance, if you're making music, literally anything that you're doing, this video is going to help you make money in whatever it is. So the first thing you need to understand is that hard work alone does not create results. All right, you can see from this cashier, he's pretty miserable because he's working hard, as indicated by the water droplets from his head. But if you wanted to be a multimillionaire, working as a cashier for 20 hours straight every single day would not get you there. Although you are taking action, it's not aligned with what you actually want. No matter how many hours you worked, there's nothing you could do to become a millionaire this way. I mean, sure, if you actually worked 20 hours every single day, you would have $1 million after 10 years. But this is assuming you don't spend any of it on anything, and you have a maximum possibility of sleeping 4 hours a day, doing literally nothing else with your life but working and sleeping. So you're not socializing, you're probably not eating a lot of food, you're not going to the gym, it's just work and sleep. It'll take you 10 years to do this. The point is, taking a lot of action does not create results. You have to take aligned action, which just means the right action. I mean, how many people do you know who you would consider hard workers but really don't have a lot of money or anything for that matter to show for it? If you keep doing the same things you've already been doing and they haven't been making you money, do you really think that doing more of those things for more time is ever going to change that? So how do you figure out what the right actions to take are? Well, take a look at this guy. That's me, hitting 2 million subscribers. When I started making a lot of money, it was from my YouTube channel. But I wasn't making all this money right away. And eventually, I knew I had to change something. I just really wasn't sure what it was. So I worked backwards. I asked myself, before I got anywhere with YouTube, this is important, it's when I was still very small and had a couple of thousand subscribers on YouTube. I just asked myself, what am I trying to achieve with this YouTube channel? And funny enough, it actually wasn't about the money. I wanted subscribers. Specifically, I wanted 1 million subscribers. That meant a lot to me. So again, I asked myself, if I already had 1 million subscribers, what would I be doing differently? Okay? Now remember that, because a swarm of answers came to me from this. I would make my thumbnails look more professional. I knew that I would spend more time editing my videos, and I knew that I would invest in a better setup. So I did all these things, and eventually I reached 1 million subscribers pretty easily. Whatever goal it is that you're striving towards, you need to behave as though you already have it. So say that you have a specific money amount in mind. Maybe you want $50,000 a month. Ask yourself, what would I be doing differently if I was already making $50,000 a month? I mean, if you're in sales, maybe you're not confident enough to raise your prices yet, but you keep saying, oh, well, once I've gotten more clients and I feel more comfortable, then I can charge this much. But because you're not charging more money, you're not making more money. And because you're not making more money, you're not charging more. This is just one example, but the point is, people will hesitate to take certain actions in their business because they don't feel ready for it. They think once this happens, then I'll be ready. But you need to switch it. You just need to decide that you're ready now, because if you're not ready to make those changes in your business, clearly you're not ready to make that amount of money just yet. If you think that having more money would make you more bold with your business, be more bold with your business now. Give yourself the confidence you think you'd have if you were already making that money. Whatever it is, run your business now the same way you would be if you had that money. And obviously, this is within reason. If there's something you're not doing simply because of affordability, don't like bankrupt yourself, but this includes anything, like even little lifestyle changes, things that you're only planning to buy once you're making that money. And again, still within reason, but don't hesitate to treat yourself every now and then. Buy a first class plane ticket, or buy one expensive dinner, or a nice pair of sunglasses. Not only does this make you feel better about the wealth that you already have, but by doing things like this, you're indicating to the universe that you're taking yourself and your money more seriously. If you don't see yourself as someone who deserves to make more money, how do you expect the universe to see you as someone who deserves to make more money? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But what if you've already tried all these things? What if you've already changed your actions and done all these things to indicate that you are comfortable with your money, but you're still just not seeing those changes? Well, unfortunately, if that's the case, the problem is not in your business. It's not in your wallet. It's not even in your personal life. The problem is in your mind. All right, think of your mind as a GPS. Right now, you're in New York, and you want to get to California. But for some reason, you have the destination set to Florida. You know that all you have to do is take the highway all the way across the country, straight through, and eventually you'll get to California. But if you don't switch it so that your GPS is set to California, then the entire 44 hours that you're driving, that's my own personal estimate. I promise I didn't look that up. I just know things like that. But if you have your destination set to Florida while you're driving to California, the whole time you're going, your GPS is going to be yelling at you that you're going the wrong way. And this is exactly what's happening in your mind right now. If your mind is not prepared to make the amount of money that you want to make, then no matter how hard you force it, it's going to continue to yell at you. Every time you take an action that's meant to move you closer to your goal, your mind is going to hold you back somehow. If you're on a sales call, your mind might convince you that you're not ready to charge higher prices. Or if you're networking, your mind might trick you into being nervous so that you lack confidence and the other person doesn't want to form a connection with you. This can manifest in so many ways, but there's some intrinsic belief that you have about money, and it's putting a glass ceiling on the amount of money that you're letting yourself actually earn. No matter how much you consciously believe that you're capable of earning more money, if your subconscious mind does not agree, nothing you do is going to get you more money. If you've been scratching your head for weeks and months on end wondering why you're not making more money, this is exactly why. Your subconscious mind is not aligned with your conscious mind. All you have to do is convince your subconscious mind that you deserve the amount of money you desire. So, here's how you reprogram your subconscious mind. You like this? Honestly, ChatGPT is really good at just making these in like 5 seconds. But your subconscious mind is what drives all of your thoughts, your feelings, and behaviors. Although you might think that you're consciously choosing everything you do in a given day, in reality, it all somehow stems from your subconscious. The subconscious mind is driven by emotion. Whatever emotion you're feeling on a base level will determine everything you do. So if you're in a conversation with somebody, but you're nervous, no matter how much you might have prepared what you're going to say, or how much you've studied human psychology, your subconscious is going to make sure that you behave in a way that ensures this conversation is not going to go well for you. This is why you can study for a test for months, but then when you're actually sitting in your seat taking the test, you immediately forget everything. You didn't actually just forget. Your subconscious mind is just blocking you from accessing that part of your brain in this very moment by stirring up certain emotions that make you feel like you don't know what you're doing. But if you could convince your subconscious mind that you actually were more confident and knowledgeable about this test subject, not only would you feel more at ease while taking the test, but you'd be able to perform better while studying less. Think of your subconscious mind like the gas that's in your car. If your car takes regular gas, but you put diesel fuel in it, no matter how many more batteries you buy or how many times you replace the power steering fluid, if you don't go put regular gas into your car like you're supposed to, nothing you ever do is going to make that car drive the right way. And as far as your subconscious mind goes, if your subconscious mind is not properly aligned with the amount of money you want to make, even if you keep on trying new business strategies and forcing ways to make money, you're never going to be able to increase the amount of money you're actually making. And just like the car with diesel in it, sure, it might go for a while, but eventually it's always going to stall out. Just like your mind will always take you back to the amount of money that it feels accustomed to making. We have to put regular gas in your car. Let me explain to you why. If someone subconsciously believes that I'm stupid, then their subconscious mind is going to prove them right. When they study for something, their brain will be doing everything it can to stop them from retaining the information and ensuring that they stay stupid. The same applies to money. If your subconscious mind believes you're not making a certain amount of money, it will make sure you're not making that amount of money. And you might be thinking, but my subconscious mind doesn't just believe this. I'm really not making that amount of money. And that's the paradox. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. And that's exactly the tool that you're going to use to give yourself the money now that you think that you have to wait until you're ready to earn. Right now, close your eyes and imagine that you're standing on top of a skyscraper. Now, in your mind, and I want you to really do this. In your mind, walk towards the edge and really feel like you're doing this. Obviously, don't really go to the top of a skyscraper, but in your mind, just as vividly as you can, imagine you're walking towards the edge of the skyscraper and look down and see everything. The other cars, the buildings, the tiny people there. Did you feel anything? A little cringe or a twist in your chest? That's because your subconscious mind thinks this is really happening. Consciously, yes, you know that you're safely in the comfort of your own home, but your subconscious mind has no logic to it. It can't rationalize or tell you that you're wrong. If you embed a thought into your subconscious mind, it will accept it as true. And there are no truths in reality other than what your subconscious mind accepts as true. Right now, you're trapped in a box. Your subconscious beliefs all align with the idea, I'm not making more money, possibly including the belief that none of what I'm saying is true, I'm wrong, and you're really just not making more money. As long as you continue to hold beliefs like this with conviction, you will perpetually stay stuck in this loop of never being able to earn more money. Beliefs like making money is hard, or this is the amount I'm comfortable making, or if I start making more money, I'll have to hire more people and it's going to stress me out. You have to become aware of the beliefs that are holding you back. Pay attention to your thoughts, because a belief is really just a thought that you have over and over and over again, whether or not it's conscious. Whenever a thought comes up that indicates you're not making the amount of money you want to be making, simply be aware of it. And it can literally be anything. But the key is to trace your beliefs backwards, because they like to hide. You know, it's not going to be so obvious as you have a thought and you're going to be like, oh, that's what my belief is. Like, okay, so let's say you want to buy something, but you hesitate and you think to yourself, this is too expensive, and you feel some anxiety about it. What beliefs are hiding behind the thought, this is too expensive? Is it, I don't have enough money? Is it, I need to save my money? Is it, if I run out of money, I'm going to die? Once you figure this out, ask yourself what belief you would have instead if you were making the amount of money that you wanted to make. Like, making money is easy, or I have plenty of money, or I make money from doing whatever I want. Just choose to plague your mind with these thoughts instead. Whenever a negative thought towards the reality that you want comes up, just choose a different thought, because that's all you're doing. You're taking thoughts that you've never had before and putting them in your head, which is on its own a very powerful thing. But here's the real trouble with becoming aware of your beliefs. There's this musician that I see talking about how difficult it is to make money, despite the fact that he has 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. And he says that he's barely making minimum wage because of how little they pay. He always talks about how Spotify should be more fair about how they give their artists money, because if they were, he'd actually be able to make a decent living, and that anyone with 1 million followers should. But let's say this guy had 100 million monthly listeners on Spotify. On average, and I did the math, he'd be making about a minimum of $300,000 per month. Do you think he'd still be complaining about how unfair Spotify is, despite the fact that the rate at which he's being paid for each play is still exactly the same? The point is, there are certain beliefs you have about your industry that you just need to let go of. For instance, you have to start young to succeed as an actor. If this is true, how did Harrison Ford land Han Solo in his mid-30s while being a carpenter? Or how did Jon Hamm get cast in Mad Men despite struggling to get any roles in his mid-30s? If these guys let this belief crush them, none of them would have ever succeeded. The point is, you really need to find those rock solid beliefs that just are not serving you. I mean, if you're in sales and you believe it's hard to have a success rate over 25%, or if you're an artist and you believe you can't succeed without persisting for decades until something finally clicks, anything like that, you just need to stop believing it. Because if you believe those things, every action you take is going to create that. Like, if you think that it takes years for you to become successful in your field, you're somehow going to hold yourself back and only take action that allows you to become successful after doing it for years. I don't care how much tangible proof that you could go off and find for me and how statistics back up your opinion 100%. If the belief does not serve you, just choose to stop believing it. There are a lot of beliefs you have that you probably aren't even aware of, and those are the most dangerous ones. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate. Carl Jung. You have beliefs that are running your life right now, and you don't even know it. And until you become familiar with these beliefs, they're going to continue to run your life. You remember what I said before? That there are no truths in reality other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true? Imagine how different things would be for you if you convinced yourself that it was easy to make money doing what you do. If down to your core, despite all your prior experiences and all the books you've read, if you really, truly believed that it was easy, don't you think making money would actually become easier for you? The key is not to change or remove your initial thoughts of worry and fear. That's just going to result in a lot of anguish and pain. Lots of pain. But it is much easier to change your second thought. So as soon as you recognize one of these negating thoughts come up, stop. All right? It's okay that it came up, but now choose to think differently afterwards. If you're swiping your credit card and you notice yourself feeling a little uneasy, just be aware of that and immediately tell yourself, oh, I'm already making this amount of money. And let yourself feel the safety and security as though you actually were making that amount of money. By doing this, you're doing something very powerful. Because you're so used to going through this spiral of worry and fear about money. But when you interject with these brand new thoughts, you're interrupting that cycle. Even if it's only for a second, you're starting to introduce your brain to a completely new perception of money. Perception is very important. Do you think billionaires perceive money the same way you do? Well, what if you were able to just perceive money as though you were a billionaire right now? That feeling there is the key. Simply telling yourself a thought robotically is not going to work. You have to convince yourself that it's true. Again, consciously, you will be aware that you're not making that money in the 3D, and it's okay. Don't focus on stopping that idea or getting rid of it. Just put all your focus on thinking and feeling into this new thought. This will take some practice. You're not going to get it right away, but you're training your brain to become familiar with the felt sense of making more money. And over time, your subconscious mind will start to actually think that you're making this money. And once it's convinced, you're going to start getting mental downloads that you weren't getting before that tell you what you need to do in order to make the money you want. Business ideas or strategies that were blocked off because your subconscious mind didn't want to let you start making more money. So, where do you start? Ask yourself, what beliefs would I have if I was already making the amount of money I desire? List out as many of these as you can and then narrow it down to one core belief. For instance, the belief I have so much money could hold hundreds of other beliefs, like I'm so good at making money, I can buy anything I want, my entire family is provided for. So just find one core belief that would spider out and create a whole bunch of other beliefs that just create this positive sense around the amount of money you're making. And ideally, just the best one to go for is just keep telling yourself, I'm already making X amount of money. And then just imagine all the things that you think that would bring into your life. So set time aside to sit in this belief for 5, 10, 60 minutes a day. It doesn't matter. Just sit down and say your core belief to yourself over and over. And as you're doing so, just imagine what you'd feel like on a regular basis if you knew that this was actually true. Throughout your day, anytime you feel yourself being triggered by money or something about your business, remind yourself of this belief. And once you've deliberately sat in it enough, the feeling will just naturally come to you whenever you think this thought. But if you want to work with me one-on-one, click the link down below. I'll help you identify and remove whatever whatever is blocking you personally from making more money in your business, whether that means figuring out which emotion you want or creating a visualization scene, you'll inevitably start making more money when you pinpoint your subconscious blocks, which is exactly what I'm going to help you do.